Google's making big changes in China. To find out more, we're asking some experts. We're talking to Jonathan Strickland from HowStuffWorks.com and TechV's own Randall Bennett.
Try GoToMeeting free for 30 days. Visit gotomeeting.com/techpodcasts.
4 years ago, Google came over to China with Google.cn, but they censored their results to comply with Chinese regulations. Fast forward to this week, and they've decided they're not going to be doing that anymore. John, what's your whole take on this situation?
Well, it's very interesting. I mean, I think when Google first came into China 4 years ago, they were already cautious about the whole situation because it kind of goes against their whole informal motto of "don't be evil." That has two aspects to it. One is providing unbiased information to its users, and the other is operating within the law. And in China, those two things are pretty much at odds with each other. So now that there's been this recent hacker attack on various companies, including Google, that was targeting human rights activists in China, Google has said, that's it, we're not going to play ball anymore. We're either going to do things our way or we're not going to do it at all. It's an interesting situation. I'm really curious to see what the fallout is.
Now, Randall, what do you think? Do you think they would make this move if they were the #1 search engine? I mean, in America, everyone uses Google. Everyone thinks Google's a verb at this point. But in China, I think they're around #4. Do you think they would be this bold if they were the leader in China?
Well, it's interesting because worldwide they are, the lion's share #1. Baidu is, I think, #3, nipping at Yahoo's heels. But yeah, in China, they're definitely not as big as they could be, for sure. And if they were #1, I think they'd have a harder time doing this. But at the same token, I think Google's sort of taking an easy way out and sort of looking at an easy way out of China, that is, and using this as sort of an excuse to some extent. Because, when Google was, it's not like human rights violations haven't happened before and they've been censoring for years. Now they kind of take the convenient approach of, well, now they're attacking us. And since they're attacking us, that's the real reason why we want to get out. But since it happens to be to human rights people, I think I feel like there's some sort of an underhanded motive here for Google, even China, since it's since they're the victims instead of random people who can't have access to all this information. So I'm not 100% sure that Google is necessarily totally in the right in this, in that they are leaving China, and to some extent someone's going to serve them, whether it's whether it's Baidu, who's in the government's pocket, or Bing, or whoever. I don't know, but I do feel like if they were #1, it definitely wouldn't have been as easy a choice, quote unquote, as it was this time.
Jonathan, any final thoughts, plugs, anything you'd like to get in right now?
Well, I was going to add in, it is interesting to think about what's going to happen next. I mean, will Microsoft and Yahoo follow Google's lead and say, hey, we're interested in human rights too, we don't want to support a company, or a country rather, that has policies that are antithetical to that? Or are they going to actually try and capitalize on Google's absence and pick up the market share? It's our nightmare, but might do it because there's a lot of money, and we're talking 300 million web servers in China. That's hard to walk away from.
The other interesting thing for me to note too is, I don't know if you remember, but like 6-ish months ago, there was a fashion blogger who Google readily outed, and this person worked in the New York fashion scene, and they were causing a stir. It turned out to be a student at FIT, which is the Fashion Institute of Technology, and Google was readily willing to out this person rather than facing a potentially long, drawn-out legal process. And as a result, Google didn't fight as much as they could have. So I think Google kind of picks its battles sometimes. When it's human rights and it's easy to have a PR win, they sort of slam dunk on that. But also, I do respect that Google is holding themselves to an ethical standard. I just think sometimes they pick and choose where they actually want to do it.
I think that's all the time we got right now. Jonathan Strickland from How Stuff Works, thanks a lot for coming on. Randall Bennett.
Thank you.
Surprisingly difficult to book from TechV. And I don't think TechV is censored anywhere, so you can check it out on YouTube, blip.tv, iTunes, wherever. So thanks a lot, and we'll see you later.
Head to avis.com/techv and save 10% off any reservation or $30 off a weekly rental.